Alright folks, welcome back to the Sandbox server, where all the global rebalancing of shells and lower tier tanks are currently taking place. So yeah, it's basically a mishmash of previous Sandbox servers or iterations into one, but there is only one version of the Sandbox which I liked, which was the original rebalancing of gold shell and normal shell. No touching of the HE, no touching of removing lower tier tanks for whatever reason, but apparently Wargaming wants to do all the stuff into one patch. Convoluted, too much, very too much. So obviously I am biased right off the start, right off the bat, but I do like the rebalancing of AP shell. More HP, more better AP damage compared to premium shell damage or APCR at high tier, but some vehicles don't need it. Like the v1.7.1 you don't need to rebalance this thing. It's already pretty decent at what it is. But they touched the HESH shell. They touched the high explosive shell. Currently, they are stating that, we're not going to change the v1.7.1 or the T49s. But on the Sandbox server, as you can see, the HESH round has 0mm of pen. And 890 alpha compared to the normal high explosive, which is 1100. Oh no, this is the HESH. Let me see. The second one should be the HESH. Or both are high explosive. I don't even know which one's the HESH anymore. So it's a convoluted mess. So everything's wrapped up into one package, but I still like the balance of the AP shell and more HP throughout all the tiers. But let's talk about the tech tree first. So here is the tech tree, but I'll show you guys a compile list of all the changes. Also, I'll put the forum posting that I'm going to do on the North America forums. I'll post all the screenshot and the changes with the tech tree, but I'll just show you right now with the inserts of American, Russian, yada yada tech trees. But the red ones are basically crossed out. The purple ones are crossed out at high tiers, which means Wargaming is going to sell them like a premium. Which are scumbag moves, but you already know Wargaming. The green ones are changing tiers, and the aqua ones are basically shifting in vehicle category. So that is pretty rare, but some vehicles got shifted again in terms of category, like the Crusader. It got changed back into a light tank from a medium, from a light tank originally at tier 5. Now it's a tier 6 for some reason. I don't know. Or tier 5, I don't even care anymore. It's a random shifting of the tiers and stuff, but it's so random. And you remove all basic diversity at bottom tier. From tier 2 to tier 3, there is no artillery. There is no tank destroyers. You just have heavy tanks, mediums, or light tanks. That's basically it. So what that means is, basically, if you play a Panzer 1C, half the time you're going to wreck face. So once you reach tier 6, you can buy the Panzer 1C from their supposed collectors tab, which is right here, but it doesn't even show up the collector vehicles, which is stupid in a sense because lack of diversity, right? All you're facing is BT2s or T60s at bottom tiers, which is dumb. Yeah, you're removing. There are about 600 vehicles in this game. You're removing about 15% to 20% of the tanks in the game, which is dumb. So I click on the collectors tab, it doesn't show you, but lower tiers is just, Panzer 2s and Panzer 3Es. Sometimes you have Panzer 3Js, but there's no Hetzer anymore. None of those. So basically, if you play the Panzer 1C, you machine gun everything. That's what I'm predicting. But I play a little bit of tier 10s. Other than the normal tanks, like the heavy tanks or mediums or tank destroyers, those are good. But if you're playing like artillery, you have lower alpha compared to the HP buff. So that's a passive nerf to artilleries. And AP shell is nice, the return of AP shell, but AP shell doesn't do that much damage. It's only like 500 alpha for a very large caliber AP shell. 525 for the 210mm on the GW E100. which is dumb. It takes about 35 seconds to reload this gun. So yeah, basically you can do the same amount of damage with a heavy tank in 10 seconds compared to 35 seconds. So it's not like the original AP shell. Originally, like years ago, normal AP like this will deal about 1,800 alpha. Or something close to that, 1,500 alpha. But it has to hit. It has to pin as well. But, I mean, this gold shell for artillery is a bait. The premium high explosive round with better alpha, but no stun, and better splash radius, that's a bait. Mostly because buffs in HP, as well as you're not going to pin anyways. So, that's a bait for your credits, mostly. But I play a lot of artillery. I do have tier 10 artilleries, but yeah, artillery is okay, one of the aspects. Another aspect is basically if you're playing autoloaders, even those autoloaders with armor, this patch will feel great. Mostly because autoloaders don't usually load high explosive in their autoloading drums unless you're sadistic or masochistic. So if you're playing stuff like the FOSH, well, FOSH 155 is a different story, but normal autoloaders like the Batchat, the TVP, T5051, you don't usually load a clip of high explosive. Same goes with the auto reloaders like the Projecto. But if you're playing the Kranwagen, as I experimented with this patch, it felt great. You don't need a high explosive, you just AP shell all the time, APCR shell all the time. Same goes with any other medium tanks or heavy tanks or whatever. But first of all, I am biased. Like I said, I am biased against this patch. I hate everything other than the shell rebalancing of AP and the gold shell. Don't touch the high explosives, don't touch the lower tiers other than buffing their HP, and you'll be good to go. So I don't know. I already played through a few rounds. I already know what happens, but let's play a few rounds with the Death Star, just for funs, I guess. But yeah, you might as well fire AP shell with this thing because normal AP shell deals about the same alpha as a tier 8 tank destroyer or medium. So currently it's about 1,500 health for a tier 8 medium, but you can one shot if you hit with the AP shell. High explosive HESH rounds are nerfed, obviously, so basically if you shoot something like a tier 8 medium tank, if you hit the tracks or hit any of the armor, supposedly, you only deal like 400 alpha or 500 alpha, which is dumb compared to any other heavy tanks at tier 10 or tank destroyers at tier 10. So this is a hat. Sam, why are you wearing a bird nest on your head? It's a hat. It's a tanker hat or whatever they call this hat, but it's a hat. So yeah, I am biased against this patch, but oh god, it's real. I mean, other than the AP shell, other than fighting normally with like boring conventional tanks, yeah, the rest of the vehicles are not going to be fun. Playing Type 5s or Type 4s or any of the high explosive T49s or artillery or whatever, or the FE 4005 or 215B 183s, you just might as well fire AP shells. But even if you're firing AP, it would be a lot better to just play with the Jagdpanzer E100 firing AP, because you actually have more reliable armor than the 183, right? I don't know, but you can see with the demonstration of the HESH, if it's already HESH, you change to high explosive. That's the high explosive Mark 1. It deals 890 alpha with 0mm of pen. This is the high explosive squash head. It deals more alpha, but still garbage pen. So we're going to try, but you might as well play with the AP round. Might as well. And this map is not fun. I hate this map. Where the hell do we go? Normally I block off this map. I ban this map from rotation because I hate it just so much. But it's a shitty design. It's basically all corridors. Nobody goes towards the middle. Nobody. Other than fast, mediums, or light tanks. But that is also very rare. This, I mean, the point with the Death Star is you don't expose yourself for too long. And if you do, expose your tracks to the HESH. If you expose flat armor or weak spots, then you're asking for it. It's your own goddamn fault. But lack of diversity at lower tier, lack of diversity at higher tiers, just cater to the stupid people, why not? God damn it. Rage! So this will be rage against the stupid Sandbox server. Oh my god. Also, if you're going to do the rebalancing of the HESH, why not put it into the first iteration of the Sandbox? Why wait? I mean, you already tested out everything, right? So this feels to me like a cop-out, like somebody trying to show their report after a certain amount of time that they actually did stuff with their job to keep their job. So it's been like what? 6, 7, 8 months? Nothing came out of the last summer Sandbox. This is basically the same, just compiled together. There were no differences in the Sandbox. Nothing were really changed other than removing tanks from lower tech trees, which is stupid in the sense. Alright, here's the HESH against a FE4005. No, what the fuck? Oh, 2 tanks penetrated. 2 of them together. Firing AP shell. It's not HESH. There's no way that's HESH. You can shoot the ship bar in the turret, but the turret has only like 10 millimeters of armor. It will deal absolutely nothing. So right now the E4 should have a very good shot. Yeah, PP. Alright, here's the HESH into there. Wait, they even scratched them. They actually pinned? They actually pinned. But normally, he would have been dead. He would have been super dead from that shell. We didn't actually pin him. Alright. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. Wait, you have 0 millimeters of pin and yet you pin. What the fuck happened? Alright, did my mind just change from random penetration of the shells? Okay, this should pin. Should pin if I move faster. Alright. That was not me. Oh, that was also AP. Shit. Oh, fuck it, just ran it. Hello, hello, hello! Alright, reload the... No. You don't say. Jam him! I have no idea what the hell is happening. HESH pin for some reason. Even though it's 0 millimeters of pin. But then again, I have played this vehicle. It never happened before, so we'll see. We'll play against the rich. Still, even if when you're supposed to pin like the first shell on the FE4005, that's supposed to deal like 1,800 alpha currently, because the ship barn has 400, not 400. 4005 has like 10 millimeters of armor at the turret front, which is going to pin. But how the hell did it pin the Super Conqueror? How did this thing is so weird? How the hell did I deal 1,100 alpha to a Super Conqueror while haul down? Beyond me. Alright, let's just go kill the artillery. I don't want to chase. But fucking Christ, unreliable. Alright, back up the hill. I have no idea. But like I said, it would be just a lot better if the HESH keeps the same penetration. Same goes with any other HESH rounds. like like with the 7.1, but just bump up the alpha a little bit more because of the changing HP. Don't touch lower tier tanks. Don't remove them. Don't touch the higher tier tanks like the T69, T62A. And some of the tanks also got category shift or class shift, like the T54E1. That got changed from medium tank to a heavy tank now, similar to the T54E2 in a sense, the Renegade. But I don't know. I mean, it's wargaming, it's their game. I'm not the CEO, I'm not the head of the company or designer of the balance of the team, whatever the shit. Balance team or quality assurance team, I don't give a damn, but goddamn, if it was my company, I wouldn't push out this patch, other than the AP shell rebalance. Just because of the gold shell spam. And, like, even if gold shell has better penetration and lower alpha, don't make it more expensive. Just make it an optional change in terms of just using. Like, a lot of people would rather have better DPM rather than just, you know. So here is the superstructure on a GWE 100. Oh, he already hit him. But yeah, just bump up the HP of lower tiers, but still keep the diversity. Otherwise, it's all Panzer 2s and Panzer 3s, and that's basically it at lower tiers. You just play one Panzer 1C, you machine gun everybody. Oh, or play the AM Jindran, the tier 2 light tank from the Christmas boxes. It's a car at lower tier, fighting against tanks without armor and without view range and without speed to chase you, other than the Panzer 1C. Alright, how the hell did I pin the Super Conqueror in the turret while he's hauled down? Did he just automatically pin? No fucking idea. The HESH is so weird. I mean, this shell to the FE4005 should just immediately kill him, normally. Alright, but it's such a weird system. I mean, I played the crammed on the Sandbox server, it felt great, mostly because the bump in normal shell pen, or normal shell alpha, and with the same pen. So basically you're out DPMing a lot of people if you're firing correctly into weak spots. But I mean, this patch does help out with vehicles that don't really see play, like the E100, mostly because it just passively buffs the terms of their DPM compared to their armor. So normally people would just see E100 or Type 5s and spam gold. Well, nowadays with this buff, you can out DPMing the people that's shooting gold at you. So they have to rely on lower penetration but better alpha to keep up with the DPM. So let's go back to the high explosive squash head. And we'll camp in the back because it's what we do. So I mean, artillery is still artillery. It just, there's a bait nowadays with the gold shell, so obviously don't spend credits on gold shell on artillery, otherwise you're stupid. But yeah, gold shells on artillery does 0 stun, so, and stun is already a dumbass mechanic anyways, so I don't know, just what was that patch that changed everything? Changed like the light tanks, the light tanks, the artilleries, and shifted everything. That was 9.18, or one of those old patches. Oh, come up a little bit more and I'll nuke ya. Grill 15, the front line. You're bold. Super Conqueror in the middle of nowhere. No. Oh, please do. North America server. Oh, that was good. Oh, you jammed into his driver hatch for some reason. Shoot that guy. Oh. So basically they shifted down the margins, the range of expected damage for this vehicle. But still, I would prefer like 2000 alpha against a freaking tier 8 than dealing better alpha against a tier 10 while having armor. I mean, 737 alpha for a 279E is pretty decent while he's hauled down, but would you rather sacrifice like 2000 damage against a ship barn for that? I would never. That's what makes it so fun. Is like some of the shots are just insane if you hit them, and you deal massive amounts of damage, but you have to hit and you have to pin. That's a whole gimmick. But I don't know. People actually like. There's a 2 sales, 2 times offering of the FE25B183 for black market. How will people respond to spending like 22 million credits after all this nerf and shit? I don't know. But that would suck. Alright. Oh, E3 on the coast. We have most of the field. Can I get a shot on E3? Let's go see. E3 is pushed to the different sides. He is jamming shells into the rear of the super conqueror. Alright, come back, E3. Oh, here's the ship barn. See? Normally that would be 2000 alpha or 1800 alpha to his face. Only 1000. Might as well fire AP shell. AP shell has like what? 1500 alpha-ish. You might as well use AP. Oh man. Well, like you have more consistent shots against vehicles with armor, such as the 279. Yeah, sure, but against vehicles like the ship barn, he has only 10 millimeters of turret armor. Only 10. So, yeah, whatever. Alright, E3 is coming this way. We're going to nuke him once he comes over. And this artillery doesn't pay attention to the map. He's gonna get nuked. Come over? Are ya? And I missed, of course. Ah. And of course, let's jam one shell. Oh, you are brazen. Now fucking YOLO rush. Let's do this. Let's do this. 455. You missed. Alright, high explosive, AP. See, if you're dealing AP, I'm gonna miss this like an idiot. Oh, that is fun. That is fun. I'll prevent him from turning. You shot me. Alright, into the engine deck. That was so goddamn stupid. Fucking 185mm shell bounced just slightly off of the superstructure into the ocean. God damn it. Oh god. I mean, well, this is basically a test of high explosive now. I don't want to play the Type 5. I really don't want to. It has... like... yes, high explosive will have a decent margin of dealing alpha towards vehicles with armor, such as the 279 dealt... how the hell did I deal like 750 alpha to a hull down 279? with the HESH. That is just insane compared to normally. Well, not really. Normally, if you don't pen with the HESH, it's about 600-ish. So it's not really that insane, but would you rather have a better margin against like more consistency than having a larger alpha towards something like the ship barn? So with the hit on the FV4.5, it's supposed to deal 1,800 alpha or 1,750. That's the supposed range, but sometimes you just deal only 1,000 nowadays on the Sandbox server. So before, yeah, I should have mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is the Sandbox server. Everything is still murky, so it's not supposed to be, you know, concrete, and all these changes are not supposed to be defined yet. So it might not even happen. But goddamn, don't say 185mm round off of the superstructure just because. Why the hell not? All right, switch back to HESH. But yeah, AP shell is obviously a lot more effective. It's just also, if I suck, I'm blaming it on the ping. It is the German server. Speaking of ping, but oh my god, it's a FV4.5. It has 10mm of superstructure armor. It's basically 10mm of metal on top of a box, on top of a 10mm of armor on top of a Centurion, a metal box on top of a Centurion. Alright, you're going to protect me, Yak Panzer E100, from side shots right now. And can you go faster? Ow! Alright, we're going to go. So normally, that guy would have been dead. That guy would have been toast. Like, beyond toast. Stupid cars. You wanna come back and I'll shoot you again? Please do. $770 alpha against car with the HESH round. It's probably heavier than the stupid car anyways. Ow. How the hell did it pin? Oh. Oh, there we go. How the hell did it pin? Or I'm just messing up the whole HESH system and they don't give you the HESH penetration. I have no idea. Is it still like 250mm of pin for the HESH? Or 230? I have no idea. That pinned. All the show you saw pinned. But how the hell did I pin the Super Conqueror on the other round? Alright, let's play with the ship barn just because. We'll sell the Badger. I don't have credits. It's based off of your actual account, so yeah, I don't have the credits. 3112475. So it might be a display error. That might be a reason, but I have already unlocked the 4.5. But still, normally you would just nuke FE 4.5 with your gun, firing HESH. But alright, let's take out the crew. Find a good crew. That's decent. That's garbage. We'll do the convoy. Send all the crew to the barracks. Not enough space, but why are there so many garbage dudes? Dismiss a bunch of these. Give me a sec. But yeah, I still don't understand the HESH system. I will probably never understand it, but just take out everything. Take out all the lower tier removal, take out the higher tier removal, take out the high explosive change, and just add the AP change, AP and gold shell change, and that's basically it. With the higher health. That would be great. People don't do that. They just want to have everything. Alright, dismiss a bunch of dudes. Let's put the convoy into the 4.5. Send to barracks. Isn't there like 2 loaders? I think it's 2 loaders rather than 1. Yep, 2 loaders. Alright, let's put the convoy into the 4.5. I don't know. It's I still don't like playing it. I like when I play the Death Star, I want to have the 2000 Alpha. I want to have that. It is the purpose of the Death Star is the ability to nuke somebody right off the bat. Oh, there you go. We're going to play a little bit more, but it is the capability of dealing that 2000 Alpha, and that's what's making it fun. It's not stupid ass consistency issue. I mean, I don't have an issue with consistency if I can jam a high explosive against a well-armored target, but just basically you neuter the fun for more consistency. And I mean, that's even. I mean, we're firing a HESH with supposedly error in the display message of the penetration. If we're actually firing high explosive, those things have 0 alpha, and you will feel the dramatic difference. So if you're firing the normal high explosive, you will feel the difference in terms of the output. Alright, let's just use the normal high explosive and see the difference, I guess. 2 shells into the 4.5, dealing 1000 alpha, where you could just use AP shell and deal 1500 alpha. Right, you can deal 1500 alpha, 1440 technically, but still, you can deal 50% more alpha if you just use AP. You don't even need the high explosive now. You don't even need the squash head. What's the purpose of the squash head? You don't even need it. The only reason I'm using the squash head is using against vehicles with armor. Vehicles without armor is useless. You just use AP because you deal more damage. Alright, let's shift to the normal high explosive, the one without the supposed error and less alpha. So this will feel dramatically different, supposedly. We'll see. But yeah, it's a sandbox. Obviously, everything is not concrete. Still murky and stuff. Flags. All the best. Nobody goes this way. I feel a little bit naked and exposed right here, so I'll pull back. Okay. Push back, please. Nope, he's not gonna push back. He might now. He's gonna shoot. He's gonna reverse. Reverse object 140. Reverse into my high explosive right now. No? Alright, we're going to back off. There's nobody on. Oh, I mean, that's basically the same as the HESH. What's the difference? I hit the turret front on an object 140. I mean, granted, it's not 100 alpha more than the squash head, but it's about the same as the HESH. What's the point of the HESH then? I have no idea. So I don't think there's a difference in terms of the display, in terms of the penetration display. I think they're all the same. So it's still like 100 millimeters of 0 millimeters of pen instead of the 230. Normal HESH has like 100 millimeters of pen about, or normal high explosive, not HESH. All right, let's see if this kills the guy. If he comes back, we can kill the guy. Pull up a little more. Oh, zoom mods, please. Freaking zoom mods. Pull up. Let him come up so I can shoot him. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Patton, you just got hit with a 1000 alpha. Just bait him up. Bait him up. Say Patton got hit with a 1000 alpha. He still wants to challenge the 60 TP. Missed. Alright, we'll try again without the tree in the way. Blocking my view. It's very inconsistent. I can't find targets. There we go. Go up a little bit more. Don't be shy. There's no artillery. What are you afraid about? Yes. Come into the spider web. Ah. Damn it. Ah. Freaking accuracy. 0.4 accuracy on this thing. 0.38. Oh, there's such a good shot right here. Reload faster. And zoom mods, please. Aye. Wow, high explosive is just as good as HESH. What's the purpose of HESH anyways? None. Freaking high explosive is just as good. What the frick? Against the armored turret of a 60 TP, the high explosive is just as good as the HESH. Oh! Oh, come back to the spider's web. Yeah! Switch back to HESH. I have no idea. This video is random. I have the tank. I have the 1A3. And shots like this really are sporadic, but I don't know. I don't know if I would give up 2000 alpha for a better alpha against armor targets. That's basically what it is. I mean, you could just use AP, obviously, but what if it doesn't pen? That's always been the question. It's a weird quagmire with these vehicles. Alright, 268, you are Raisin. But then again, we have 3 tanker shores trained on that pass. Alright. You see the crevice. There's no shot. Also, there might be a leopard 1 somewhere. So we have to be somewhat careful. There's a leopard 1. Oh, there's a rock in the way. Obviously, I don't see anything. Ah, oh, damn it, I got spotted with a leopard. Back into my nook. Crawl back into the spider hole. EBR. Interesting. Crawl back into the spider hole. We might lose this, based on the current positioning of my allies. The mediums have to shift right now to spot. Yeah, I'm not going to outspot an EBR. That's just literally impossible. Alright, going to help out the 430U. Goodbye, 268. For some reason, you're pushing up. Alright. As long as I don't get caught out in the middle of the open. That's not gonna happen. Alright, we have a better... Oh, EBR got nuked. Nice. So you might as well just use AP round. But like I said, AP round offers the chance of bouncing, like against the ass of an E3. So give or take. Give or take. Put 30 U's at full health. Five against 5. Ooh. See, normally if you have AP, you're about to kill this guy, but you have HESH loaded, which is not good enough. My mouse should shoot at me. Yeah, there's the mouse. Shooting gold shell nonetheless. Oh, there he is. Lags again. Jump down the hill. Oh, is he going for it? He's going for it. Ah, shit. Push back, push back. I have no shot. Ah, shit. He's going to go back to the crevice and I'm going to shoot him on while he's going there. Or not. Alright, jam the shell. Oh. Go, go, go. Kill the 140. He's using gold! 140 spams gold. And that's all. And that's the main reason he's not killing the i7 as fast. Alright, the mouse is coming this way. The 430U has no problem. Oof. There we go. It's a HESH round, for Christ's sake. I don't need to pin. I mean, you have AP, but it still doesn't feel as good. The 2 shots on the 405 just doesn't feel as good. You might as well use AP. I mean, HESH is still the same HESH. It just, man, feels a little bit neutered. It's more consistent, obviously, but still, I mean, you saw with the high explosive. High explosive deals about the same shit as the HESH, but it's a lot cheaper to use the high explosive. And just a little bit difference in alpha, about 200 or so. Where the hell did that guy go? There he is. He's not gonna win this. Pincer attack. He's likely behind a destroyed boat of something or rock. Oh, he's dead. Yeah, ram him. So there you go, folks. Rage Against the Sandbox. It's mostly high explosive, and I haven't showcased the actual AP shell or APCR shell change compared to the gold shells, which I still like. But the lower tier stuff is just ugh. Play one Panzer 1CA and you should probably wreck face if you know what they're doing, or you know what you're doing and they don't know what they're doing. But I mean, out of all that, just like whatever. Just that game doesn't feel great. I mean, just like whatever. High explosive work just as well as high explosive squash head. Might as well use high explosive. And high explosive costs 4 times less than the squash head. Why even use the squash head? Burst radius the same. Might as well use just high explosives. I don't know. But there you go, folks. The FE25B1A3 on the Sandbox server. So I'll post a link to the tech tree changes and you can see for yourself. But vehicles like the T54E1 got changed to a heavy, which is disappointing, mostly because I use that vehicle as a crew. My crew from that vehicle is the crew trainer for the mediums, or use mediums for these crew. So this is a very good crew. I'm using it currently as a medium tank for my medium premiums, like the Super Pershing or the Pilot. I don't play the Pilot, or the M60 or whatever, or the Ram and stuff. They turned the Jumbo into a neutered Jumbo. Does it have the upgraded turret? It has the upgraded turret. Fuck you. It doesn't keep the 150mm turret with the derp gun. You son of a bitch. So yeah, vehicles like that got fucking shafted. And now my crew, my medium tank crew is now heavy tank crew, because T54E1 is somehow a heavy tank. Fucking Christ. But it is a Sandbox server, so I'm raging about nothing, mostly. So, like I predicted, lower tier is going to be boring as shit, mostly because there's no diversity. It's all the same vehicles. You play Cruiser 2s, you play Cruiser 1s. There's some difference in medium tanks and light tanks at tier 3, but that's basically it. You have to wait until tier 4 to play tank destroyer across the board. And you have to wait until tier 5 to play artillery. Yeah, artillery is not that good anyways nowadays, compared to like 5-6 years ago. No, it's not even good as what it has been. So back then you can AP shell across the map. It will deal about 1000 alpha. No, yeah, back then AP shell will deal 1000 alpha. If you pin with high explosive, that deals about 2000 alpha. There's no stun, stupid shit. And it I don't know. It's some lower tier, no diversity. You have to wait until tier 5 to play artillery. Wait until tier 4 to play tank destroyers. That is dumb. Because what if I want to play tank destroyers? What if I want to play artillery? You gonna let me grind and sog through the same old tanks as anybody else until like tier 3 and tier 4? That's stupid. And you can only unlock collector tanks after tier 6, or when you get to tier 6, but there's no collector tanks right now because it's broken and shit. So that's dumb. But at higher tiers, you have no pathway, like the branching pathway from one tech tree to another. Like, for example, if you want to play the Porsche Tiger and you decide to play the Ferdinand, I want to get into tank destroyers after playing heavy tanks. I like the Porsche Tiger. I want to go into the Ferdinand, but I can't. Where the hell is the Porsche Tiger? There it is. You cannot go into the Ferdinand because reasons. Also, you cannot go from the light tanks into mediums. That's also stupid. Like back then, you can go from the KV2 into artillery. Because reasons. Now you cannot do that. So, I mean, with the current tech tree, it's more intricate. It feels better. There's more option for you to play the game. But this version on the Sandbox felt like it's been dumbed down for a generic, population to just, people who don't play video games, people who don't play tanks, have no tactical awareness of a mini-map or their surroundings and stuff, and to get into that kind of game. It feels like a mobile game, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. It feels stupid and dumb. So just buff the HP of lower tiers, buff the HP of higher tiers, buff the normal AP shells and APCR shell, and keep the same old gold shell. And that's it. That would have been a great patch. Nope, they have to throw in a bunch of shitty stuff like removing lower tiers, or removing higher tiers, or collector shit. Let's try to sell the T62A for monies. Because reasons. Such a stupid ass design. I mean, like I said during the playthrough or playing of the FE25B183, it felt like this patch was a collection of the previous Sandbox patches without any changes. And it feels like somebody's trying to do their report after a certain amount of time, but they've been slacking off and just throw a bunch of shit together at the last minute, trying to look like they've done some shit and done their job to pass a report and earn their paycheck. That's basically what it feels like. They didn't do absolutely anything. It's been 6 or 8 months, 6, 7, 8 months. What the fuck happened? I mean, well, I thought this patch, I thought the gold shell, AP shell change with the HP change was going to happen last year during the Christmas event, which would have been great. A great way to end out the whole year and a great way to introduce the double barrel stuff. Nope. Somebody's been slacking off and shit. So it feels rushed. It feels last minute. So it feels dumb, but that's just my biased point of view. So leave a comment below on what you guys think, and don't forget I'll post a link to the forum post that I'm going to do with the tech tree and all the shading and stuff, so you guys could see the actual changes. But other than the AP shell change and the gold shell change, and the HP change for the health of the tanks, the rest of this patch is absolutely garbage and dumb. So that's what I have to say. But yeah, why would you change vehicles like this to a heavy tank? It's not a heavy tank, it's a medium. It's based off of the freaking patent. God damn. It's a patent haul with a T-54E1 turret, oscillation turret. It's a heavy tank, quote unquote. I don't know. The Patriot, this is a jumbo Pershing. This is a heavy for some reason. It's supposed to be a medium. God damn. And you're... I'm losing my voice. And you made an absolute worst choice. I mean, it is an elite choice, elite configuration for the jumbo, but it's not the most fun. The most fun is with a 150mm turret front with a mantlet and a derp gun. That's the most fun out of this thing. You neutered the shit out of it. God damn. There goes my rage against the Sandbox. But thank you guys for watching this video. Leave your comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.